All right, let's dive into a simple skill that can have a huge impact on your work life. We're talking about making polite requests in business English. It's all about small tweaks in your wording that, trust me, lead to way better results. Let's get right to it.
You know that feeling, right? You need something from a coworker, but you're worried about how to ask without sounding, a little too demanding or pushy. It's a super common thing. But the good news is there's a really simple way to handle it. Okay, so before we get into the exact words and phrases, we need to talk about the foundation of all of this. Let's call it the politeness principle. It really helps to understand why being polite is so critical, especially in a busy workplace.
And here it is, the core rule. Being polite isn't just about being nice, it's actually a key strategy for good communication. In the professional world, how you say something is often just as important, if not more important, than what you're actually saying.
And here's why it works. When you're polite, you're showing respect. That respect builds trust. And you know what? Teams that trust each other just work better. Everything gets done faster with a lot less friction. So yeah, being polite is just practical.
So, we've got the why down. Now for the how. Let's get into the specific phrases you can use that will instantly make any request you have sound more professional and considerate. These are your new secret weapons. First one up. Can you? This is your go-to, it's friendly, it's direct, and it's absolutely perfect for all those everyday interactions you have with your colleagues. Super simple, super effective. Next up in your toolkit, we have could you. This works a lot like can you, but it has a slightly different feel to it, a different tone, which we're going to talk about in just a moment.
And of course, you knew it was coming, the magic word itself, please. You can add this one little word to pretty much any request, and it instantly softens the tone. It is such a simple but incredibly powerful tool. Okay, so what's the real difference between can you and could you? Well, they're both polite, for sure, but could you is generally seen as just a little bit more formal. A good rule of thumb is to use can you for everyday stuff with your peers, but maybe save could you for bigger favors, or when you're talking to someone in a more senior position.
All right, we've got the principle and we've got the phrases. Now let's put it all together and see what these requests actually look like out in the wild.
It all boils down to a super simple two-step formula. First, you start with one of your polite phrases like can you or could you. Second, you just clearly state what you need. That's it. It really is that straightforward.
Let's look at an example. A direct command like send me the report can come off as a bit of an order, right? But just by adding could you at the beginning, could you send me the report? You completely transform it into a respectful question.
And here's another classic. Just saying help me can sound kind of urgent or even a little demanding, but when you phrase it as can you help me, it feels much more collaborative. It's like you're inviting the other person to help while still respecting their time and ability to say no. So let's wrap all this up and really focus on the single most important thing to remember from everything we've talked about.
So here it is, the main point. Making a polite request isn't some complex thing. It's really just the simple habit of using phrases like can you or could you to make sure your message is heard as a collaborative request and not as a command.
And that's really the heart of it all. The change from do this to could you do this is so tiny when you look at the words, but it has a massive, massive impact on your professional relationships and how smoothly you can work with other people.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What's one request you're going to make this week? Can you think of one email or one conversation where you can consciously use can you or could you? Because honestly, putting it into practice right away is the fastest way to make it a habit.